About 2 years ago, he had started an investment with an investment firm, and that money was completely wiped out when that firm went bust. Greed is that unnatural phenomenon of any of us wanting to acquire money, food, status, power beyond what is normally warranted. Now, if anybody is offering you to double your money every year, then you must know that it is nothing short of magic. These are high-risk businesses. So there is a possibility that you will get your return, you may not get your return at all. Recently, I was meeting a new prospect who had come to visit our office and wanting to kind of take our services. While we do a detailed interview with that person, and while I was discussing her, he gave me a small background that recently, about 2 years ago, he had started an investment with an investment firm, and that money was completely wiped out when that firm went bust. That's really where I thought this video was kind of making. But first up, a story. There was once a very wealthy but a greedy farmer in a village, and he was always looking at ways and means to kind of keep increasing his wealth, which is fair. So there was once an occasion when somebody told him that you can have all the land in the village you want, but there is a certain condition. The condition is that at the strike of dawn, which is at 6 a.m. in the morning, you have to have come to a certain point, and then you start walking in the direction which you need to go, and by sunset you must return back to the place, and the distance you've covered by walking forward is the amount of land that you can enjoy for your cultivation, as a result grow wealthier. Now, this farmer realized that this is a great opportunity to become wealthy suddenly. So what he did is, early in the morning he went at 6 a.m. and got ready. He didn't carry food with him or water because he realized that carrying that will slow him down. So he started quite literally running when he started to go. Now, as he kept going, the greed took over, and he started imagining him owning larger and larger tracts of land. So he kept going till he lost track of time. And by the time he realized, it was almost close to the evening time. So he rushed back. He had to turn around and rush back, because the condition was that he should be at sunset back to where he started. So he literally ran, and because he hadn't had anything to eat or drink, he was completely exhausted. But the greed in him pushed him so much that he finally ran literally to the finish line at the end. Unfortunately, his body couldn't take the stress. He collapsed there and died. Post that, he was buried in a pit that was 6 feet by 3 feet. 18 square feet was all that he required of land at the end of the day. Now, the moral of this story, as we all know, is that there is no limit to greed. Greed is that unnatural phenomenon of any of us wanting to acquire money, food, status, power beyond what is normally warranted. And there is no number to it, but each of us knows in our mind what this greed is. Now, why am I telling you this? This new client who came to meet me told me that he had invested a certain large sum of money because the firm that he had invested in promised a certain return. Now, I was checking with him what is the kind of return, and he mentioned, and this is a reasonably well-educated person, and he said the firm was giving 8% return. And I said, 8% is not bad, what went wrong? He said, no, you don't get it, it's 8% per month. I was shocked. 8% per month is 96% per annum. That is doubling your money every year. Now, if anybody is offering you to double your money every year, then you must know that it is nothing short of magic. And sometimes magic, sometimes black magic. Both of them kind of don't work. So in this case, the person who is invested says, for 2 years he kept getting that kind of return. Unfortunately, since the return was good, he reinvested the return as well into the principal, and the fund was reasonably large when finally the firm went bust. while I did some checking, realized that more than 4 or 5,000 crores of money was deposited in this firm by many investors across the south of India, and the firm is kind of unable to return the money. The firm was apparently playing high-stakes stock market strategy and was trying to return. Nothing wrong with that, except that people need to realize that these are high-risk businesses. So there is a possibility that you will get your return, you may not get your return at all. Ways to avoid something like this, making an investment decision, is really one of the things that one needs to do as a smart investor. Like Warren Buffett say, the 2 important rules of investing is never lose your money. And rule number 2 is never forget rule number 1. That's the fundamental principle of the financial guru. That's something we must remember. While everybody is at some point in his life falls prey to greed, it's important to pull yourself back and think about a few things in life. And that will help you make a more conscious decision and make it without the greed aspect. And these are the points which I thought is relevant. One is, I think there's a great amount of feeling of gratitude that we must all carry within us. The sense of gratitude for what life has given us already is an important feeling that will help you stave away greed in some sense. Because the person who is greedy is somebody who thinks that he doesn't have enough. Now, gratitude helps you understand that we already have enough. So we don't need to go after those very, very risky games. Second is, there are 2 feelings that many of us have in our minds. Either we have a feeling of scarcity or we have a feeling of abundance. Now, scarcity feeling is unfortunately a negative feeling, is feeling that I don't have enough. It's a negative feeling, it's always constantly looking for more. And sometimes this feeling of scarcity can lead you to take excessive risk. That is what we call as greed. On the contrary, a feeling of abundance. By abundance, I mean feeling that we already have reasonable, and if we continue on the journey of disciplined investing, we will have more to reach our journey, is abundance. And somebody carrying an abundance attitude will be better enabled to make decisions that are not greed oriented. Third, look at one's overall financial picture. If your investment need is to grow money at say 10% per annum or 12% per annum, and you have a reasonably long journey, I don't think you need to take these very, very risky bets that will either be hit or a miss. You can go with more easier options. Fourth is, always remember that money is only an enabler. It's not the ultimate thing. Money helps you live a better life. Money helps you send children abroad for studies. Money helps you live a comfortable retired life. Beyond that, we can't eat money. So there it stops. And last but not the least, when we leave this world, we can't carry money with us. So always keep these 5 points in mind, and I'm sure your investment decisions will be very, very sane.